Hello and welcome to yet another FVGP race. Today we are at round 2 at Silverstone, the British Grand Prix for us in these F2 cars today. Looking forward to seeing how we all perform around this really beautiful track in Toaster. Intro. I start them like I do the SMP. I realised that. I don't know how else to do an intro, that's my only experience. It's run by us, that means it is like the SMP. Alright, we're going on board with Verge Solo here today. Oh, there we go. We're on board with Verge Solo here, yes. No campuses in this race today. We do have the Red Bull liveried Verge Solo here, though. As he heads around this beautiful track on this lovely sunny day, which is unrealistic for Britain, but it's nice to see sometimes. We had nice weather for the actual race this year, so that was cool. I got incredibly sunburnt as we go around the track here for Verge Solo. I actually think the track is slightly damp, but adding to the realism, I suppose. I really don't know where he is because I haven't got the track map on, but it's qualifying, so there's not a lot to commentate on in a one-shot qualifying because by the time you've switched to the next person, the lap is basically over. Oh, that was definitely an invalidation of track limits if this was on strict. Jesus Christ. But here today, on board with our favourite for pole here in the car of Hajar is Verge Solo. As he comes round the hangar straight down into Stowe. Better done there for Stowe. That was a better corner than before. He goes, oh, and a spin. Oh, he's spun. Oh, he's lost it just there. But he's done a nice little 360 and he's back on the track here. An unfortunate way to end that lap for Verge Solo here today as he heads on round Vale. And the penultimate corner to head down the Hamilton straight and take the checkered flag. Oh, and he's spun again over the checkered flag. I'm really glad we were watching Verge Solo today. Made for an interesting qualifying, to say the least. And here is your grid order today, starting with JL Broughton on pole with a 1:39.1. Going down the order, we have Scarlety 42, Curly, Clover, Apex, Chungus, Pixels, Salmon Baker, Ace King, Leslie, Eldorado, OJ English, Rosenquist, and finally in last place, Verge Solo. An interesting order for today's sprint race, I am sure, as we will have Leslie on pole. Hopefully the game will not break today and put him a lap up, but we never know with this game because it is quite terrible. You'll be fine. And as the lights go out here for the formation lap, there is a formation lap today, I feel quite glad by that. As we see the cars take lead. Let's head on board with Pixels for this formation lap. The Prema driver, a favourite to win today. No commentary bias whatsoever, as I'm sure you can all imagine, as he takes this formation lap. Some inside from the drivers here, anti-stall is happening. This is slightly concerning, but I'm sure it will all be fine. As they all head round onto the straight in this formation lap. I really don't know what straight this is. I'm very lost. As they head down the Wellington straight. I am very lost. I don't have a track map on. This may help. This will really massively help me, actually. We're just going to add on some details here, as I haven't decided to put them on yet. We'll go for tyre to start, everyone on the softs, as we head on over down to add on, not telemetry, but not lap data, but a track map. There we go. There we go. This makes my life so much easier. Why have I not put this on already? Eldorado disqualified from the from the session there, not the situation. Collision with Gel Broughton. Shame to be them, I suppose, as they head on up now. Down the hangar straight here. And round Stowe. Heading on up to Vale for this formation lap, on board with the Primoov FV Pixels. What a beautiful car it is, really. The Italian flag. Gotta love it. As we slow down there for a nice action shot. I've just got a notification to say Happy Hanukkah. I'm very confused. Here as we line up on the grid for today, this race around Great Britain. Let's go on board with our pole sitter here, Leslie, as he heads on to that number 1 grid slot today. And as we wait now for the grid to take place, getting ready for this all-important lights out today here in Silverstone. And it's 5 lights, and away we go here today for this beautiful sprint race. Immediately Apex there jumping 2 positions. We head on, there's a virtual safety car, and I don't know why I'm not in the right camera right now, I'll be honest. This is a really terrible view. Let's go try and see what happened. Is that Rosenquist? No? I'm really not sure what's happened for this virtual safety car here, because Virg Solo is alive and well. Racing around here. Round he goes. Around. Again, I'm very lost. I don't know. We are off the track a slight mount, but a virtual safety car on lap 1, and he has no wing, yes. I'm assuming it was for Virg Solo. I'm realising now his front wing is entirely gone. I'm sorry, I'm very bad at commentary. Oh no, there's been an incident around Cops today. Let's go up and try and see what happened. I'm not quite sure who it was, but... Oh, was that Rosenquist off the track there? I'm not sure if that was the issue, but I believe it was Ace King that may have had the incident there, as he has now dropped to 14th. Thankfully still a full wing for this car. I really don't know what teams these are. I'm so confused. For the VAR here today, pretty sure he's racing with my number, so that's quite offensive, but, you know, we take it as it comes. So we head on up now. Virg Solo in the pits for that wing damage. Apex with the fastest lap here. He's taken first place from this lap. Let's see how he goes around the track. And battling to take that position back is Leslie, as they head on round through Sector 1. I'm realising why I'm getting so lost. It's because this track map is just not dyslexic friendly. As they head on now down to Woodcote. Down this straight up to Cops. Apex has run away with this lead a little bit here. The gap already extended to 1.5 seconds. So we go down and see the battles that are happening further down the grid. I think most of us are bunched up here. There's a battle here for 6th, I believe. Potentially 7th, as we're all coming round the same part of the track. So changing the camera, I'm not really finding anything new. A bit of a DRS train, I believe. When DRS is enabled, this will become. Everybody is bunched together. Oh my lord, what has happened there? Jesus Christ. Everybody spun at the same time. Um, Eldorado is out of the session. There is cautions, but no safety cars. I'm really not too sure what happened there, as the cars involved in this head into the pits. Jesus Christ, I'd only just left those cars. Eldorado there has rage quit. Nice overtake here being performed by Chungus. Doesn't quite pull it off, but it was close. And it was nice to see for definite. Verge Solo still in last, bless him. Still behind that car that's out of the race, unfortunately for him, as he tries to make a recovery. I'm sure he will have been wishing for a safety car when that incident happened, but unfortunately for him it wasn't meant to be, as he heads on round Abbey and onto the Hamilton straight. As we watch Sam and Baker slip and slide really around the track. That's only what that corner can be compared to. And there's Sector 1. There has been issues for Verge Solo again, I believe. Indeed it was. The poor guy just not having much luck today. He heads off the track once more and into a spin. Oh, and retires. Okay. That one could be looked at. But let's watch the battle here for second between Scarlett and Broughton. Slight bit of off-the-track action there, but the move was done. This camera, why am I in nose camera? Let's go down to Scarlett here and watch this battle from the perspective of third. That's a new fastest lap for this race from Giles Broughton with a 142.1. The trident of Scarlett here as she attempts to take second back. Let's go down and see Ace King and Chungus, who are having a nice little battle here for that all-important 9th place. Just outside of the points in this sprint race today. The two VARs racing each other here. And Rosenquist in the trident almost getting in on the action, but just managing to pull away there. These were the 4 cars that were involved in that struggle of whatever happened on lap 2. We're not quite sure. And there Chungus attempts that overtake, but just doesn't quite make it once more as they head on round Luffield. And now down to Copse they go. Side by side here down this straight as they head into Copse. Beautifully done there from Chungus. That was a nice overtake to see. Going off the track there, but just managing to stay ahead for him. Heading on up now, let's see how Pixels is doing in 6th position here. Coping brilliantly here today as that Prema heads round and round. I've lost English for a moment there. Apologies, guys, as he heads round Abbey and down to the Hamilton straight here. That's a new fastest lap again from Giles Broughton, a 1:42.0 this time. We also had a Verge Solo rage quit, I believe. This is a day for it, I suppose. Really not a lot of action going on here today. Everyone is just kind of spread out. Let's see if this battle for second is taking place still. No, they seem to have spread out too. There is literally like a second between every single car. I just don't know what to say. There's nothing to commentate on. A nice clean race here today round Silverstone. as you can see. Let's head on board to Apex, the race leader. They're always in this part of the track whenever I get to everyone. Everyone's always going to Abbey. I haven't been saying penultimate a lot today because I'm not quite sure which one is the penultimate corner. Oh, an incident, I believe, may have taken a place here. No, just an apology. You know, I think I've just realised I've been calling Club Abbey this entire time. This is brilliant. Yeah, I've been getting mixed up with the last time. I was reading the fucking map backwards. Clearly some very good commentary today around Silverstone. On board here with Clover. The man who's not been seen in an FV race in quite some time. Staying in 5th. Brilliantly done. Ah, we do have a battle for the lead heading on now between Broughton and Apex here today. Nose to nose. As they head on round through Club and onto the Hamilton Straight. I think numbers might have been better, to be honest. Heading on up now through Abbey, and here they go for this final lap of the race. The two cars battling away here today. Let's head on down and see what's going on in the midfield here today. We have Rosenquist just catching pixels here, and Broughton pulling that lead away for first. Just slightly edging that gap ever so more every single corner. Won quite a few races he's won a championship in FVGP before has Broughton. I believe he did it without winning a single race that season, which is quite impressive. But here today he will take the race win in this sprint race. As they head on now. Down the hanger straight here. That gap just grown by a second this lap. Quite an impressive gap to pull, and that Rosenquist is catching now, and the battle for 7th is taking place here today as they head on up now. Pixels just pulling ever so slightly away, although not quite enough, unfortunately, for the Prema driver as they head up now to the penultimate corner. Just pulls back, and I have a bit of lag there, so. And Rosenquist unfortunately just edges it over as they cross the line almost simultaneously. Those cars are almost glued together front to back. So we head on down now to Sam and Baker, the one car left driving on this track today, as he heads on up down the hanger straight and round to those last few corners of Stowe, Vale and Club. And as he now crosses the line, our sprint race is over. Driver of the day there goes to Joel Broughton, who did a 10th to first, if I'm correct. And our podium here today of JL Broughton, the Apex Miata, and Scarlett 42 for this sprint race. Heading on now for the full order. We have in 4th place OJ English, 5th place Curly, 6th place Clover, and carrying on Rosenquist, Pixels, Ace King, Chungus, Leslie, Salmon Baker, and the 2 cars that did not finish this race, Verge Solo and Eldorado. Oh, here we are for today's feature race here around Silverstone as we head off on the formation lap now. On board with JL Broughton, who has dominated this weekend so far with pole and a sprint win. Heading on down the order, just a refresher for everyone. In 2nd place, oh, I've gone the wrong way. In 2nd place, we have Scarlett 42. In 3rd place, we have Curly. In 4th place, Clover. 5th, Apex. 6th, Chungus. 7th, Pixels. 8th, Salmon Baker. 9th, Ace King. And 10th, Leslie. Following on now, Eldorado, OJ English, VNT Rosenquist, and Verge Solo. Not quite sure why I ended up reading everyone's full names out there. But yes, this is your qualifying order and today's starting order for this feature race. As we head on up now, down towards Cops, swerving and weaving, keeping those tyres nice and warm. Someone has just run away here. Is that... It's not Verge Solo, it's Clover, his teammate. I've forgotten the team name again. The Red Bull liveried car. Here. The high-tech of Clover here ran away with this lead. If only he could do this on lap 1 instead of the formation lap, I suppose. Weaving to keep those tyres warm. Let's see what tyre compound everyone is on today here now. We have everyone on the hards except Salmon Baker, who has gone for the softs. A bold strategy. A bold decision, I'm sure. Well, there's been a crash on the formation lap, I've been made aware from race control. The Pramer of FE Pixels as he re-enters the track. Safe as always. Once again, being courteous, waving to those marshals who do everything for us. Really the real MVPs. Let's get that detail up to position change as we get ready for the lights out here today around Silverstone for this feature race. Everyone's lined up and here we go. And it's 5 lights and away we go here today around Silverstone. A good start there for Broughton, but as he goes into turn 1, is he going to lose it to Scarlett? Nearly, but not quite. He just manages to edge ahead there, heading on down the field. We've got some battles going on here. Pixels and Leslie, and all the cars in front seem to be side by side. Here today, as they head on up now towards Luffield. Pixels off the track there, just once again waving to those marshals. So we head on up on board with... Sorry, I've lost English again. Head on up now on board with Apex, who has taken 1 position and is now up to 4th. Curly, who has lost 2 positions here. And Broughton and Scarlett, who have kept that 1 too. Much to Scarlett's dismay, I'm sure, as she is attempting to get round Broughton at every possible attempt here today as they head on through Maggots and Beckett's. Not Bennett's. Not sure who Bennett is. And down the hangar straight today. There is yellow flags. Who for? Let's go down and see. Is that for... That was for Rosenquist, who had an incident with themselves seemingly, and I'm experiencing some lag here today, but I'm sure it's all fine. Ah. Been made aware it's not me that's lagging, so this is good news. The AI of Eldorado here and Verge Solo as they battle it out for 12th place. Inside of each other for that penultimate corner there as they head on now down the Hamilton Straight once more inside of each other, which is an interesting sight, I suppose. Ah, I've been made aware that these two are boat VRs, so we will stop watching those and head on up now to the battle for 7th here. Or is it the battle for 6th? The battle for 6th here today. As they head on up through Luffield. Almost rear-ending, but just not quite. Some great control here from these guys today, heading on up down Cops. Are we going to see some action here from OJ? We are not, unfortunately. It's from Sam and Baker. Well, they are going for it, though, as they head on up through Maggots and Beckers. Heading on up the order at the end of lap 2 now, but we'll pretend it's the end of lap 1. We have Giles Broughton, who has just set a purple sector 2, so I'm sure we're going to be looking at a new fastest lap this race. We then have Scarlett, who has, once again, they've kept that one too. Apex still in 3rd. I'm sure he will be desperate to catch the pair in 1st and 2nd. Not once and twice. Clover, who has kept 4th place, surprisingly. Complaining about how these cars felt earlier, he is doing an amazing job here today, but staying with the pack. And as I say that, he does lose a position to Curly, but still in 5th, so can't be too bad in these cars. Chungus here in 6th place, sustained a nice little gap here from that battle. He does just seem to be pulling away as the other cars battle it out for 7th. And Clover, who has just pulled a gap on Chungus. As Clover heads on up now, trying to get back past Curly here. And Curly trying to get past Apex. We've got a nice little battle for 3rd going on. Oh, and that's OJ who has gone down a position. Sam and Baker and him, that battle for 7th really playing out nicely for the two teammates here. And let's head on down and see how Pixels is doing in 11th today. He is catching Ace King nicely, which is wonderful to see as they head on up now through the 2nd sector. And into the 3rd here today. Just slightly off the track there for Pixels, unfortunately for the Prema driver. It is all sandbagging though, as you are all aware. We are a team of sandbaggers. OJ English, who has gained 6 positions today. Quite impressive to watch as he just manages to pull away from Chungus, keeping that 6th position. This battle for 6 proving to be quite a challenge for the 3 of them, as they've been battling it out for nearly 3 laps now. As they head on down. I am really lost as to where they're at. I really don't know these corner names well enough, guys. I do apologise, this is shoddy. That gap to 5th just ever growing. For these 3 cars battling it out for 6th position today. Sorry about that, guys. My throat did have a momentary cough, but we're back and better. The battle for 6 is growing less battly now, as OJ has managed to pull a second lead on Chungus, although the battle for 7th still very much underway, as Sam and Baker just putting everlasting amounts of pressure on the VAR car of Chungus. Oh, and a battle for 2nd here, I see, as the cars begin to pit now. Not a battle for 2nd. Oh, and Chungus with a penalty for speeding in the pit lane there, unfortunately for him. There's 4 cars taken to the pits this lap. I'm assuming most other cars will be heading in soon too. Pixels here in 7th, a nice improvement there. This is where we expect to see him finishing today, if not higher. Although, once again, a favourite for the win, as always. Scarlett now taken the lead, which I'm sure she'll be very happy with. Although I imagine Jacob will be on his way back to take that lead from her as soon as he can, really. I'm assuming it's a pit stop this lap for most of the other cars, as it is only a 10-lap race today, so lap 5 and 6 are the usual good laps to pit on. Get you halfway through on your tyres, as always. Let's see what tyres people have changed onto today. I've changed the wrong detail, I'm sorry. They've gone on to the softs for Rosenquist, Chungus and Clover. The hards for Sam and Baker, and Verge Solo, who I do not believe is pit. And Jay Broughton on the softs. And that is into the pits for Scarlett, as predicted. And I'm assuming Apex will follow her in here today. Oh, he doesn't. He heads on round for another lap on those hard tyres, as Apex now takes the lead for this race. Followed closely by Curly. Not even just a 10th behind, as he attempts to take that lead from Apex. Joel Broughton is first on pace, I believe, as he is the first of the cars that haven't pit, assuming that he does come out. That Scarlett does come out behind him, although it's going to be tight, and he just manages to pull away. Only 1 second gap there. That is the first of your drivers who have pit. It's nice to see Pixels here in 4th around Silverstone once more. As this battle for first does take way between the 2 Red Bull liveried cars. Not the same team, but they do both have Red Bull liveries, as do most of the cars in F2. As they go past the pit, they don't go past the pits once more. I'm looking at the wrong straight. As they head on up, I'm assuming that they will be pitting this lap, followed by Leslie and Pixels, as they are running out of the opportunities now. Verge Solo still yet to pit, which is interesting to see the car in 9th there today. Not sure what he's attempting to do, but it is enjoyable to see. And yes, that is Apex and Curly both in. That is a 5-second penalty for Apex for speeding in the pit lane, which I'm sure will mix the podium up slightly. And as we watch Leslie go into the pits, but Pixels stay out for one more lap. That is going to be a first here for Pixels. He's going to be leading this race. For the first time this season, we see FV Pixels leading the race in the Prema. This is just a sight that everybody loves to see. We are all very happy to see this today. Although JL Broughton is catching, unfortunately. That gap now 7 seconds, which is closed by about 7 seconds. As you can tell, maths is my strong point. And as we watch the grid take its order now, Clover back into 4th, which is nice to see. That may be a podium here for Clover today, so let's keep an eye out for that, guys. That will be an interesting thing to see on his return to FV and racing in general, I believe. This is his first time on the game in a while, we were made aware earlier. From race control, obviously. As we watch Pixels head through Maggots and Beckett's. Lovely done. Just brilliant stuff here from the Prima driver. Just absolutely immense racecraft. Have you ever seen racing like it? As we head on down now, the Hangar Straight, and into those final 3 corners. And it's going to be into the pits for the Prima car now. That race leading, short-lived but wonderful nonetheless, as Broughton takes the lead back here today. Scarlett back into second. That 1-2 resumed for the pair. I'm sure they will be battling it out very soon. Clover here now in 3rd position, which again is a really unexpected sight to see today, but we're happy to see it nonetheless. Apex in 4th with that 5-second penalty, which does put him down, I believe, to about 9th here today. Maybe 8th. Unfortunately for him. OJ in 5th. And Curly here in 6th, who is attempting to catch OJ there. Got a nice little 4-car train here. The cars in 4th, 5th and 6th. That is only 3 cars, I am aware. I said 4. I believe 1 car. Maybe Verge Solo, I'm not 100% sure. It's not Verge Solo, let's see how he is doing though. As he heads on around the track. With a full wing, which is nice to see for once. Heading on up now. We have caution, and Clover is out of the race! Oh God, what has happened? There's been an incident between Clover and Apex, I do believe there, as Apex is off the track. I am intrigued to find out what happened there. Unfortunately, just missed whatever the incident was, but the 2 cars with 5-second penalties who take 5th and 6th now, and that's OJ in 3rd, which is great to see. Asked for a lot of commentary, well, get yourself up to 3rd and you'll get it, OJ. Curly is following. Oh no. Hearing now from my live pit crew that unfortunately the car in 9th place of FV Pixels is having some technical difficulties, some mechanical failures. I'm sure these will get sorted though, and we will keep those points, those all important points that we need today. Watching this, what will be a battle soon, I'm assuming, for 3rd place here between Curly and OJ as they head on up through Luffield. Wondering if we're going to see a nice little move attempt up through Cops here, which will be fun to see. We always love a move through Cops. Hopefully no Hamilton Verstappen antics. Not quite close enough to make that move, unfortunately. Just lost a slight amount of time on that straight there. As we watch them battle it out here for 3rd place for that podium position. I wish I had the live replay feature. Love to find out what happened. It's going to be an interesting conversation after the race, I can imagine. With 2 very opinionated people being involved in that chat. In that accident. Well, in the chat, I suppose, as well. Watching now as FE Pixels does begin to catch Leslie here once more. The position cruelly taken from him. Have you reacquired the vibrations yet? Oh no. That mechanical fault unfortunately still taking place, but then again, mechanical faults doesn't always mean you lose time. Look at Daniel Ricciardo in Monaco. That's how we need to think today. Positive thoughts here today as we watch Pixels attempt to catch that car in front. Leslie's teammate is in a battle as well. That battle for third as we were watching before, and Curly just can't quite seem to close that gap any more than 2/10, unfortunately. But I'm sure we're going to see on this final lap of the race some battling here, really pushing hard to get that third place, that podium position today. Those all important points for your team. JL Broughton, who has had a Grand Slam this weekend as he comes in first. Let's head up and watch him cross the finish line now as he heads on round the penultimate corner and crosses that finish line in first. That's the first place for the feature sprint and a pole position this weekend, the most amount of points you can take. Followed by Scarlett in second. I've gone the wrong way again. Followed by Scarlett in second. OJ, who just managed to squish ahead in third. Curly in fourth. The two cars in fifth and sixth, who I do believe will be dropping down due to the both of them having a 5-second penalty. Sam and Baker. Ace King. Leslie and FV Pixels in 10th concludes your point finishes today. Are we going to see Pixels just get that final corner overtake? Not quite, but it was nice to have the hope anyway. And that is your finishing order today here around Silverstone for this feature race. Let's head on now and see the weekend results. Driver of the day goes to OJ English, who has done brilliantly today to make up to that third position. A lovely battle there provided between him and Curly. Definitely entertainment for you guys, and definitely entertainment for myself too. And here are your podium finishers today. We have JL Broughton in first once more, Scarlett in third, and OJ English, I believe a new podium sitter for FVGP, in third. As we watch this lovely podium take place for the Invicta driver. As we head on now for our order here today. For our weekend results, we have JL Broughton, Scarlett, OJ English, Curly, Apex, Salmon Baker, Chungus, Ace King, Clover, Rosenquist, Pixels, Leslie, Eldorado, and rounding it off, we have Verge Solo. Thank you everyone for being here today and watching this race with me. I hope to see you all next week for another action-packed race. Next week we will be racing around Austria, which is a favourite track of mine actually. So I hope to see you all then, and I hope you all have a great week.